Recently, Hax released his newest edition of what he considers to be the Melee tier list. After seeing this tier list, I noticed a few things that I'd like to call to attention. Specifically, say theoretically that exactly one top player were to solo main each of these characters. They'd play at the highest humanly attainable level, ironing out nearly all inconsistency until the only thing holding them back is human reaction time, the inevitability of mistakes, and nervous damage in their hands. Who would be the best player? And would the same player win regardless of seeding? Is Hax's tier list accurate with top level play? Let's make a list of decidedly winning matchups among the characters on this list. First, Fox loses to Marth and beats Puff. Interestingly, Marth also beats Puff. And all the C tiers, and Peach. In fact, I'd argue that, with the exception of Sheik and Falcon, Marth beats or goes even with every single character on this list. Now, since at top level play both Fox and Marth have favorable matchups versus every C tier, I'd argue that we can remove them from the list, as they don't provide any insightful information. Now things are getting interesting, especially since Fox actually beats all the B tiers. Peach loses to Fox and Marth, and also Puff, actually. That being said, at top level play Peach is also not worth considering, leaving us with a strong final 6 characters: Falcon, Sheik, Puff, Marth, Falco, and Fox. This creates an incredibly intriguing chart. Falco has no significantly losing matchups or significantly winning matchups with the exception of beating Falcon, and goes relatively even with the other 5. Outside of losing Fox and Marth and beating Sheik, Puff doesn't really have any too interesting matchups either. This leaves Fox, Sheik, and Falcon, and Marth in an interesting rock-paper-scissors arrangement, and Falco and Puff both acting as counters to Marth's counters. This chart actually reveals something somewhat beautiful about the Melee meta. No character on this list has no counter, except for Falco, but Falco doesn't really have any particularly good winning matchups either. Here I've reorganized the chart to reflect top-level human play with only 6 characters. So now that I've created this, we can finally answer the questions from the beginning of this video. Who would be the best player? Well, in a round-robin tournament, Fox would win anywhere between 3 and 5 sets. Falco would win anywhere between 1 and 6 sets. Marth would win between 2 and 4 sets. Puff, Falcon, and Sheik would all win between 1 and 3 sets. Thus, Fox would be most consistently the winner. Falco and Marth would have potential to outperform Fox, and the other 3 would have potential to outperform all other characters but Fox. So, is Hax's tier list right? Yes. Fox, at the highest level, is likely the best character, followed by Marth and Falco. Interestingly, while Puff was in the same tier as Marth and Falco in this tier list, Puff actually shared a tier with Falcon and Zelda in the past, which more accurately represents theoretically optimal play. However, since theory is only theory, it makes more practical sense to put Puff in the tier she's in. Would the same player win regardless of seeding? No. Since every character on this list, with the exception of Falco, has at least one bracket demon matchup, and Falco has so many controversial matchups that it would be unreasonable to expect him to win them all, slight seeding changes and player inconsistency would still affect even this theoretical god meta. This is cool and all, but what if these players aren't just dedicated solo mains, but real humans who can pick secondaries? What would the best secondary be for each character? Fox would have either a Falcon or Sheik secondary to deal with Marth. Falco would have a Fox secondary. Marth would either have a Puff or Falco secondary to get rid of Sheik and Falcon. Sheik, Falcon, and Puff would all have a Marth secondary to get rid of Fox. Anyhow, I'd like to remind you before this video ends that Melee is far from a solved game. These are just my opinions, and this thought experiment was made for fun. Thanks for watching.